The summer is here. Hills or the beach? Where do you really travel? What are the trends emerging from Gen Z? Worry not if you haven't made your travel itinerary just yet. We've got the hottest travel trends this summer coming up on the program. We were talking about domestic locations. The biggest question when planning a holiday is where will we stay? How is India answering this question? Will the travel industry, which is booming post-pandemic, get it? And well, we've got a guest for on that note in our studios today. We're joined by Devendra from SaffronStays. Good morning, Devendra. Thanks so much for being with us. Domestic travel has clearly picked up. It's a major trend as well. But do you see people picking particular locations or experiences? What are you seeing as a trend here?
I think offbeat destinations is definitely one of the biggest trends that we are noticing. So at SaffronStays, we usually place our villas or our homestays or our luxury homes not necessarily in the main cities. Like even if it's Shimla, it would be in Shelapani, it would be in Narkanda, it would not be in Shimla. Or if it's, for example, on the way to Manali, then you take a detour and get into the Great Himalayan National Park and stay in Tirthan Valley. Small village called Guchani, but that's the gateway to Great Himalayan National Park. Or if it's Dalhousie, then you look at Chamba, and we have a house we just launched yesterday. You know, the access to that house is through a speedboat. There's no other way.
Wow.
And there's just nothing around. So those are the kind of offbeat locations. So if you go to South India, you know, you look at beaches like Hejmadi, you look at beaches like Gokarna, and people are ditching the mainstream destinations and they're saying, let's go to these offbeat places because anyway our children are going to grow up, go out of the country. Let us show them the country. Let us show India what it is really known for, what it is really beautiful for.
That's quite nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, we all saw those long lines last year to hit the hills. You were hearing of jams that were like 4 hours long, 5 hours long. Do you think this summer we could maybe see a repeat of that?
So, yes, unfortunately, you're going to see a lot of that happening because people will take out their cars and they will drive. And nothing wrong with that, but you got to be a little smarter. Try the weekdays. Try going to destinations which are not necessarily, you know, the mainstream Manali, Shimlas and the Nilgiris. Of course, you know, some of the states have implemented e-passes. Get a little smarter about planning your travel. You could even fly to certain destinations because there are a lot of these new airports which are coming across the country. The Udan scheme is working well for a lot of, so be a little smarter. Also, you got to know that the HNIs have always been smart about this. They always knew that they had to place their villas or their homes secluded far away from the maddening crowds.
So there's already a market is what you're saying.
There is already supply, there's already, and you have to understand mainstream, if you look at, alternative accommodation, it's no longer alternative, it's mainstream. Right?
Nice.
3 years ago, 4 years ago, pre-COVID, maybe you could have called it alternative accommodation, but now villas, homestays, vacation homes, they are all mainstream.
They are, and you're actually right about it. So few of us actually go to hotels now. We are constantly looking at experiences, which brings me to my next question. So we saw in the Gen Z trend that they clearly want experiences.
Yes.
So go to a place with a speedboat or go attend a concert or immerse yourself in a culture, but also exclusivity.
Yes.
Is that something which is on top of mind for general public at large?
Yeah, privacy. I will use the word privacy. And it's privacy of you and your children not being judged. You not rushing to the buffet line, early in the morning, having to wear makeup and your clothes. You can just get into your pajamas, wake up in the morning and have breakfast by the pool.
That's true.
Right? Or you're not trashing one person's room or meeting everybody in the lobby. You have the whole house to yourself. So I think this privacy or this, this exclusivity of experience, you have the whole place. The expectation is the same amenities that exist in a resort. The expectation is the same ones are available but in a home. So I want a wood-fired pizza oven, I want a casino table, I want a home theater, I want a private den, I want the, maybe a swimming pool, I want jacuzzi, I want all of that, but only to myself. Only to me and my family, only to me and my group of friends.
Right.
I don't want anybody else there.
Right. Right.
Devendra, you were an executive before you got into this entire industry. We never talk about the hosts. Tell us, how are Indians as guests? What's your favorite thing? Because I'm sure you get a lot of foreigners too. What's your favorite thing about Indian guests, wherever they come from?
Oh, Indian guests, actually, particularly in the summer holidays, are all about families. In fact, I have so many of my friends who call me and say, you know, Devendra, this is the only time I switch off my phone and I dedicate all that time to my children, to my spouse. And this is the reality, because the rest of the year you're on business travel, you're traveling across the world for meetings, events, conferences. This is the only time when your schools are shut, your exams are over, undiluted, unrestricted, exclusive time for your family.
Yeah.
So I think Indians in this particular season are looking at longer holidays. For example, if you recall, when we were small, I was small, we used to take 2-3 weeks holidays.
Yeah.
Now that duration from 2 to 3 weeks has come down to 6 to 7 days.
Actually true, yeah.
Yeah?
That also seems long.
That also seems long,
Yeah.
because you got to head back to your jobs or your lives. But but those long holidays are now reserved for international. But the shorter ones, the snacking as we call it, the holiday snacking, in summers particularly is 4, 5, 6 days.
Yeah.
It's not the usual long weekend traffic that happens through the year.
I agree. Also, I think a lot of people are traveling on road versus taking flights.
Yes.
Nobody wants to do that with kids anymore, but that's an interesting trend.
Yeah.
Thanks, Devendra, so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Sonal. Thank you, Toya.